to the rules anyway. Well, you're giving them a shutdown, which legally allows them to do exactly what they're doing right now.
And in a shutdown, veterans would be harmed. They wouldn't get their VA benefits.
They're already being harmed. No one is fighting for the American people, and it's feckless and it's weak.
Shutting down the government is not fighting for the American people. It costs the economy billions of dollars.
This man has destroyed so much in 1 month.
Welcome to Starscope Daily. We're glad to have you here. Before we jump in, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Now, let's get into it. The producers were scrambling to wrap things up after tensions boiled over, leading to a chaotic on-air clash. The back and forth was non-stop. Honestly, is anyone even keeping up with this show anymore, or am I the only one still talking about it? Meanwhile, the Democrats are in absolute turmoil. They're outraged over the latest drama with Chuck Schumer, fuming about Elon Musk, and completely unraveling over Donald Trump. It's a full-blown meltdown. Let's break it all down. This is going to be crazy.
I can almost cry today for these people, these vets who are losing everything. Why don't the Democrats go out there and march and stop with each other? I'm sick of it.
Well, I don't know, Joy, that they're fighting with each other. They're not fighting a unified fight. That is the problem.
The fact that Nancy is now out there criticizing Schumer, stop it already.
You know why she's criticizing him? Because he should have been fighting for that veteran. He should have been fighting for the people of America that are feeling the way that they are feeling. The Americans that I've spoken to, people that approach me almost every single day, say they don't feel like the party is fighting for them. This is not about...
well, that's what I'm saying. Go out and fight for them.
But it's not about... Well, he had the opportunity to fight for them. Chuck Schumer caved to the GOP and got nothing. This was not actually the choice. But Joy, the choice was not between a no vote on the partisan GOP spending bill and a possible shutdown. It was a choice between a no vote and forcing Republicans to explain why they walked away from that possibility of a bipartisan agreement. And the core disagreement was around a willingness to fight, even if that meant convincing the public that the harm from a shutdown was...
ABC producers were in a panic, rushing to end the broadcast early. Honestly, they might as well cancel the whole thing at this point. But hold on, what's this about veterans losing everything? Can someone make sense of this? They keep discussing government waste, yet no real action is being taken. What's going on here?
Them hold the bag. Democrats in the House were prepared for that fight. Chuck Schumer caved.
They didn't have the votes in the House.
Okay, so it would have been worse.
They didn't even have the votes.
If he didn't concede, it would have been worse. And that's what was surprising about Pelosi saying that, because she knows from her experience as Speaker of the House that the negotiator told Chuck Schumer he did not have the votes. He could not get the votes. He shut it down. And one thing that changed my mind is yesterday I called him on the carpet and said, how are you leadership when you only get 9 Democrats to follow you? But then someone shared something that made me change a little of my perspective. They had exactly the number they needed to not shut down. So he gave cover to a ton of Democrats that probably in common sense terms knew their voters would backlash if they shut the government down. And honestly,
he gave coverage to the GOP to...
Why is it okay for them to straight up lie without giving details? What was found between USAID and other agencies? How is the federal government wasting billions of taxpayer dollars? It's insane. Oh, and get this, they're arguing about a government shutdown. That's the one thing Democrats have been fighting to avoid.
Nobody's fooling themselves. It's a minority. They don't have the math. It's just basic math. There are facts there. It's not an opinion. They cannot avoid this. And if they bent the knee and pushed back just to show the public they were fighting, we would have ended up worse off. They would have gutted it even more.
They're going to do it anyway.
Legally so, though. So right now we're in the courts. We have more than 2,000 cases because of Doge and Elon Musk. I believe in the court system. I believe in the judges. I believe the one stopgap will be that moment. But when you cave and say, well, they're not listening to the rules anyway, well, you're giving them a shutdown, which legally allows them to do exactly what they're doing right now.
In a shutdown, veterans would be harmed. They wouldn't get their VA benefits.
They're already being harmed.
Now, Sunny Hostin is completely losing it because the Democrats backed down on shutting down the government and surprisingly ended up siding with Trump. Well, at least Chuck Schumer did. Sunny is going off, but honestly, she sounds clueless. It's like the entire table has turned against her. The whole scene is pure chaos.
No one is fighting for the American people, and it's feckless and it's weak.
Shutting down the government is not fighting for the American people. It costs the economy billions of dollars.
This man has destroyed so much.
Just wait a second. gas prices are going down, egg prices are getting cheaper, and people are starting to feel a bit more optimistic. But let's be real, they're stuck in their own bubble. They actually believe the rest of the country buys into their doom and gloom narrative that everything is falling apart.
Going to pull themselves together.
But as we speak, the courts actually stated that
every day there's some atrocity going on. Every day I wake up, what did he do today?
The courts just ruled that more than 20,000 federal workers have to be reinstated because what Doge did was not lawful.
So listen, be careful, because this is what they want. They want this fighting. They want this infighting. What's happening now, Democrats don't have what they need to get what they want done. So again, people have to get out and you have to march. You have to start making noise.
That's right.
This is now coming back to us. The only way people are going to hear how angry you are is if you get out there. We've done it when people were being sent over to Vietnam disproportionately. We got out there and we made noise and we made a difference. We made a difference. We made a difference when it came to women's rights. We made a difference when it came to Black people's rights. If we don't get up and get out there and start making the noise we have to make, it's not going to change.
Stand up for the veterans.
I appreciate,
Here's the reality. Polls show that most people want government waste to be dealt with, and some even think that money should go back to the taxpayers. Meanwhile, this show is an absolute disaster. It's not just a disagreement, it's total chaos. At one point, The View turned into a 5-minute shouting match, with the hosts arguing over whether the Democrats are falling apart. One person is pushing to shut down the government, while the rest are frantically yelling that doing so would only make things worse for Americans. It's a complete meltdown.
I love Chuck Schumer. I love all these people who dedicate themselves, but it is now on us. We have to do it. You want to save your Social Security? You got to get up and you got to start screaming. Because the only way they're going to understand that you're not going to put up with it is if you don't put up with it.
The Democrats are already falling apart, and this show is only adding to the chaos. I'm willing to bet they have no idea what's really happening. It's starting to click. So many of these shows, especially the ones bankrolled by massive corporations, not individual billionaires but close enough, are completely disconnected from everyday Americans. The millionaire hosts sitting at these tables, they're out of touch. This is exactly why they've lost.
You know what their attitude is? I made my money all by myself. How dare your government take my money from me? I don't want to pay taxes. Or I built my company with my bare hands. How dare your government tell me how I should treat my customers, or my employees? They hate government. Government's a barrier to people, a barrier to stop them from doing things. They want to destroy it. We are not letting them do it, and we're united.
I came across a clip of Donald Trump that perfectly sums up why the Democrats are losing. And honestly, I think shows like this are a big reason why. They're completely out of touch with what everyday Americans are dealing with. They just don't get it. One of the wildest moments from the show came when Chuck Schumer, who, by the way, even Democrats are turning against now, said something so outrageous on live TV that not even The View could spin it in his favor. Take a look at this. Schumer basically mocked hardworking Americans who want to keep more of their own money. That's their whole mindset, acting like people didn't earn their success. But here's the truth. We did make our money through our own efforts. That's what real capitalism is about. Not the corrupt, government-backed version, but actual hardworking Americans building their futures without worrying about the government snatching it away to fund wasteful spending overseas or more wars. And the fact that this aired on ABC, it's driving Democrats into a total meltdown. There's no coming back from this. Game over.
But the Democrats lost big, and you look at what's happening with Schumer, but the Democrats lost big because of the stupidity of, they're backing these 90% negative things from their standpoint. Men and women's sports, transgender for everybody, all of this stuff, they're all for it. And they're still fighting for it. But now they have a new one. We're going to back murderers, killers, and people that hate our country. We're going to back people that hate Israel, want to destroy it, people that are murderers, people that are horrible. we're going to back them. I think that might be 100% issue for us. They don't ever find an issue that's like a good
politically
issue.
Very helpful.
No, politically. I mean, this is not back in Khalil is not a great issue, but back in Khalil is better than back in these other, hundreds of people that are really serious criminals. It's probably a step better than that.
The Democrats took a massive loss, and just look at what's happening with Schumer. They've backed themselves into a corner by pushing overwhelmingly unpopular policies. Things like men competing in women's sports, pushing extreme gender politics, and now something even worse. Their latest stance, supporting criminals, murderers, and those who openly despise our country. They're aligning with people who want to see Israel wiped out, individuals with horrific records. And yet, they think this is a winning strategy. It's almost like they never pick an issue that actually helps them politically. At this point, even their weakest positions look better than the chaos they're pushing now. But hey, that's their choice. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. See you in the next one.